Then I get them in a cycle of, hey, I'm gonna order next week, so I got 15% off. Snap another picture. Here's another 15% off.
Yeah.
So then they're posting on their feed every single week, and eventually someone's gonna be like, all right, they keep posting, I'm gonna fucking order this. And then boom, I have another person, and then boom, you get another person. So it's organic in a way, but it's not.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hustle Up podcast. My name is Clint.
And I'm Jonathan.
And today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Pearson Kilgore, CEO and founder of Prepped Ready Meals. But that's not your only job.
Nope.
Your parents are entrepreneurs.
Yep.
They run a solar company. What's that called?
Suncatcher of Atlanta.
Suncatcher
Nice.
of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll generate power for your house. So super cool.
Yeah.
And you also, to my understanding, you do some real estate investment?
Not really. I mean, I own a home. I don't really do a lot of real estate investment. No.
Okay.
Well, technically, yeah. I used to buy and sell restaurants, so I guess yeah.
Okay.
In the commercial side,
so there
real
we
estate
go.
investment, yeah.
Very cool. And what else do you have going on? Podcaster?
Yeah.
Tell us about the
as
podcast.
A
Shout it
habit.
out.
Yeah. So Poetic Justice is the name of the podcast. Me and my buddy Cody, we find and talk about underrated artists that don't get the spotlight, but definitely have the talent for the spotlight. So just kind of using our time to dive into those unknown artists, or the ones that Drake
Musical
overshadows.
artists?
Yeah,
Musical artists?
yeah, mainly in the rap hip hop.
Has anybody popped since you discovered them?
No,
Not yet?
not yet. No,
They will.
No, yeah, they will. They
So
will.
you have
for sure.
up and coming artists on your podcast?
Yeah.
And talk about with them, or they perform music, or like
Yeah. So yeah, any kind of rap artist, anything like that. We'll go on Instagram and just try to find artists that we think are cool, and they have a good flow or anything like that, and we talk to them and just kind of see what they're about, what their passion is, and what gets them up in the morning, kind of thing.
That's what's up. How do you synchronize that to Prepped and Ready or whatever you've got going on? Like, do they, do the audiences co-pollinate, or how does it work?
Not really. It's kind of really a lot of everything I do is kind of separate entities, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So I just...
Why is that?
Because I like doing a lot of different shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, honestly, I like learning new things, learning stuff, and like getting into industries I've never been into is something I'm really, really passionate about. I think it's really cool to learn something, especially to go in something just completely raw and not know it and just say, just kind of say fuck it and get
Raw
in there
dog
and
it.
yeah, exactly,
Startup
yeah.
culture.
I mean, that's literally everything I've done in my professional career. I have zero experience.
Yeah.
Zero.
That's interesting. I was just talking with maybe you the other day about how, people always say stay focused. And I'm like counter that but I'm not. So what I mean is when they say stay focused, they're like, whatever you're doing, focus on that. Like if you do roofing, focus on roofing.
Burn the ships mentality.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, okay, but my focusing on something is focusing on compounding my strengths. And my strengths is team building and relationship building. Mm-hmm. So I can apply that through different entities. While most people say, focus on this one entity, I'm saying, no, you focus on the character traits that help you be successful.
Yeah. That's like, I mean, I definitely see that. 'Cause like, I'm passionate about relationships with others and stuff like that, and building, professional, relationships and stuff like that, but also the content side. I really enjoy the making the content, coming up with, new things. So like in the restaurant industry, coming up with new items, like, how do I make this appeal to different audiences, stuff like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that
give an example of how you did that, like how you conceptualized a menu item and then rolled it out.
Yeah, so kind of going back to the restaurants, whenever I would be coming up with a new menu, say the new season or something like that, social media had a lot of influence on me to seeing like, okay, these are the kind of things people are posting about. So my thought process behind everything I ever made is, will this look cool on Instagram?
Okay.
Because I mean, that's the world we live in now, where people want to snap a picture and show people what they're doing.
So you use Instagram as a funnel for your menu items, whatever's trending.
As an inspiration, so to speak.
Kind of like the drop shipping model.
Yeah.
You see what's selling on Amazon
exactly.
and you drop ship those products.
Mm-hmm. And then also just like feedback too as well. Feedback is some of the best advice you can possibly get, honest feedback. So I would go about it like that and kind of conceptualize it from that. Like, okay, looking at it on the plate, how does it look? You know, what kind of plating am I putting it on? What's the garnish? What's all that kind of stuff to, you know, complement colors and all that, you know, all that kind of stuff. But then also obviously taste good and stuff. But yeah, like that whole social media thing it's something that it still drives me now. Whenever I'm coming up with a new item for Prepped and Ready, it's okay, it's going to be in this 8x6 container. How do I make this to where people are like, hey, I want to post a picture of this? And so, you know, I kind of work that in with doing customer kickbacks in that way. So, you know, someone gets a meal, they post a picture of it. I shoot them a text or DM, hey, here's a 15% off coupon for your next order.
Nice.
So then I get them in
jobs. Yeah.
Then I get them in a cycle of, hey, I'm going to order next week, so I got 15% off. Snap another picture. Here's another 15% off.
Yeah.
So then they're posting on their feed every single week. And eventually someone's going to be like, all right, they're keep posting. I'm going to fucking order this. And then boom, I have another person. And then boom, you
That's
get another
awesome.
person. So it's organic in a way, but it's not. So yeah, Instagram, I hate Instagram. I hate social media. It's so toxic, but I mean, it's a necessary evil in the world.
Well, it's duality. It's a duality.
It is, correct. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Who's using it and what's it being used for?
Exactly.
It's all intentionality. What are those factors, like, you know, you said, when you were describing it, and I don't know. And it's like, it's the colors of it. It's the textures. Like, what are those metrics you're looking at to design the perfect to-go platter, or your verbiage?
What's going to make this pop as a post?
Yeah,
exactly.
So complementary colors. So having, you know, the backdrop, so like the background, for example, if it is something that is, you know, kind of like a reddish, pinkish tone, I would like to have something that was kind of maybe a yellowish plate, because those are complementary colors. Red and yellow. McDonald's is, you know, it's a science behind it. Yellow and red together are the most appetizing colors put together. They have it down to a science.
Because of McDonald's, or McDonald's knew that?
No,
McDonald's knew that.
Yeah,
and so they, you know, exploited. So, you know, things like that, having complementary colors.
It makes people get out of the restaurant quicker.
Exactly.
So the red and yellow signal, in reality, a little bit of anxiety.
Yep.
And they push people out of the restaurant, in, out, short time.
Yep.
That's like the one thing I knew, is that red does two things: makes you hungry and makes you anxious.
Correct. Yeah.
Specifically red. I didn't even know yellow played a part, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
So do you look, so like what gets a red and yellow background as opposed to like a green and blue background? Is it like seafood is green and blue and steak is?
It depends. So, you know, when you're looking at it, for example, something that like a red background and then the plate, if it's something that has like marinara in it, so I have a red and a red, you know, I want to have something, I want the plate to be something that's completely contrast to that. So if you have a reddish plate with marinara, it's just all it's gonna do is wash out. It's gonna wash out.
Won't stand out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then so red and green is a perfect example of that too as well. So having like parsley or anything like that on top of it. But I try to, the background, more so the background, I try to match with something that's in that plate, because then it kind of pulls everything together and makes it kind of cohesive. The plate isn't necessarily always as important. Really, the big thing with the plate is making sure it's not shiny. You want a matte color because it's shiny. It's just going to take attention away from what's actually in the plate. So
Interesting.
yeah, there's a lot of science behind like plating and making things appetizing and all that kind of stuff. It's literally crazy.
Before we get too far, I wanna highlight what is Prepped Ready and how Prepped and Ready, and how did it come to be? Did this business start out of the quarantine?
No.
So
Prepped and Ready has a long story, and it kind of goes into my Prepped and Ready has weaved in and out of my entire professional career. So if you guys are up for a story, I got you.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So
Run
going
it
back to 2017-ish, 2016. So out of high school, I was overweight in high school, kind of thing, always whatever. And I got into health and fitness realm big time. You know, I became a certified health coach, nutrition specialist, had clients, all that. And I was like, I want to do this health coach thing. I see a lot of, promise in it. And so I actually, while I was in college, I got a job offer from this place called Partner MD. It's a concierge medical service. And this guy actually I followed on YouTube up in Washington. He worked for them, and him and I just kind of chatted back and forth here and there because we were both health coaches. And so he DM'd me one day. He's like, hey, there's a job opening at the Atlanta office. Like, or would you be interested? I was like, hell yeah. So they flew him down. I got to meet him and interview and all that fun stuff. And they offered me the job. And so I was still in school at this time. So I was at KSU. And I think I was in my first year there.
How old are you?
I am 26.
Okay.
So I was in my first year there. So I went to Georgia Highlands and transferred over.
Got it.
And then, so I was in my first year there, first semester, and they offered me this job, and I was like, sweet. And they're, it was full-time, benefits, all the whole 9 yards. At that time, I was like, hell yeah. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And they offered it to me, and I was going to school Monday, Tuesday, and they're like, it's fine. Or Monday, Wednesday, they said, it's fine. You can come in Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I was like, cool. And so I got it, put my 2 weeks in at the gym, was ready to go. They called me back like 3 days before I was supposed to start training and all that. Like, hey, turns out your schedule's not going to work. And like, that shit like devastated me. I was like, fuck, man. I was like, they literally ripped it out from under me. And so like, it was kind of like that moment. I was like, I'm never going to work for someone ever again. I was like, I'm never going to let that shit happen to me again. And so, while I was training all that, my clients, everything was always, nutrition. It was always the hardest part for them. And, I had my own struggles with nutrition, going through learning about fitness and everything myself. And so I was like, what if I just start buying their groceries for them? And so that's how it started. It started with me. I would go and buy their groceries for them and deliver it to their house.
Pantry with
the exactly. Good stuff. Yeah. I was like Postmates before it was around.
Right.
There you go.
And then so I was like, then that was going, it was great. And I was like, what if I start cooking it for them? I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And so
could you already cook at that point?
I was just,
you could do a little
once again,
pasta.
learning on myself, man.
There
just
you go.
YouTube and shit and Food Network. But anyways, and just personal experience. But so it was, so that happened. I got the job taken away at the end of 2016. So then the beginning of 2017, I was like, all right, I got to figure this shit out. And so my friend was a server at Paisanos in downtown Kennesaw.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar
with that.
I
worked at El Taco Azteca.
Oh, yeah. That place is so good.
Amazing.
Yeah, so good, bro.
Shout out ETA.
Yeah, right. But and
did we just do their roof?
You did, yeah, you did. I saw that post. I was like, hell yeah.
Word.
Yeah. Shameless plug.
Y'all can't see Dylan Peoples is in the background here. He just walked on set. So he just put on El Taco Azteca's roof. Yeah.
Did you just run a marathon?
Hey, that's part of our life by design. We work out, we go hard, we make money. It's
hell yeah,
fun.
that's nothing better. But so going back, my friend was a server, and I was like, opportunity. I was like, I don't have a job right now. I was like, I'm trying to make this shit happen. So I approached the owner of Paisanos. I was like, look, this is my idea. Would you let me rent your kitchen? And he was like, yeah, it's fine, but like you got to work in exchange. I was like, that's fine. And so I started serving. Literally never served in my life, ever. Started serving, and then I would go in. I would rent the kitchen on Sunday mornings. So I'd get there about 3 a.m. I'd work, and I'd be out of the kitchen by 10 a.m.
Did he let you get paid while you were serving, or was it like serve for free so you can use the kitchen?
I like to keep my tips, but
okay.
That's about it. It was more so just kind of being hands on deck because it was super busy. But anyways, so I'd go in there about 3 a.m. on Sundays. I had to, by myself, I had to bust my ass and get out of there by 10 o'clock. So our cooks came in, and I knew if they came in before I was done, I was gone. So I was doing that for a while, and so that's kind of how Prepped and Ready started. And then the owner and I kind of became buddies, and he kind of saw something in me, saw, I was driven and whatnot. And so he approached me one day. He's like, hey, man, there's I don't know if you're interested or not, but there's a restaurant that's, that went out of business up in Canton. Is that something like, I don't want to do it, but is that something you want to do? I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And so once again, no experience. I was like, whatever. So I bought a pizza place, a to-go and delivery pizza place up in Canton near Reinhardt. It's called Big Tony's. And I was like, let's see what it's about. And so
this is the first dabble in commercial real estate.
Correct. Yeah. And so
you bought it on your own, or you had investors, or?
So him and I split it on that one.
Okay.
And and it was stupid cheap, and it was the idea of getting it up, flipping it, and moving on.
Yep.
And so bought that one in what was it? Like I think May of 2017. And then like about a month later, he reached out. He's like, hey man, he's like, I'm not going to do any more, but there's another place that's available in Kennesaw. And he's like, this one is, cause like a to-go delivery pizza place, there's not a lot to it, man. There's a lot of aspects that you're missing on a full restaurant. It's pick up and to go, and it's pizza. Pizza's pretty pretty damn
Kind of
easy.
like a Marco's pizza?
Yeah, kind of thing. Or like, any kind of, Jets, Marcos, any kind of thing like that. So that one's not really, that would have been the perfect, like, get your feet wet for a year or so and learn the industry. And so this place in Kennesaw becomes available at the entrance of Legacy Park. And I was like, all right. And this was, full bar, everything. And so I walked in and I was like, let's do it. Fuck it. Yeah. And so I kind of had that mentality of I can fail. I don't care. Like I'm literally 24 years old, and or 23 at the time. I was like, I don't care.
How'd you source the capital?
Investments.
Yeah. Like you went to investors and said, no,
so,
your own investments paid for this.
Yeah. So I was very tactical in the way that I found that these places came around. So the places that I took over were places that landlords changed the locks on. So like the local, it was an asset purchase, but it was me signing a new lease. That's it. And I took everything that was inside because the previous tenants were kicked out. The pizza place was like, I think like $20,000 because the people were in this desperate position. They were like, we can't do this. We got to get out.
Does that come with like all the ovens and everything?
That's cool. All assets inside. Yeah. So,
solid.
Yeah. And so, the local, and that was the big one. And so, spent all summer. That was June of 2017. Local opened on September 12th, 2017. And, that one was the beast. So we, it was full bar. It was kind of like a Taco Mac.
Okay.
Full bar, 2 a.m., the whole 9 yards, right? Do you guys know where Legacy Park is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be
I grew up in Kennesaw.
Okay, yeah. So it used to be the grill, and then, it went out of business. So, yeah. And so I took on the local, and then about a year and a half after that, I took on a pizza place called Primo's up off 92, right past Trickham Road, another pizza place, and then ended up selling all of them at the end of 2019, not knowing what was about to happen.
That's crazy. You just wanted to get out of it at that point?
Yeah, like the restaurant thing I knew, like restaurants, man, you can't have a family and have a restaurant. Like it's not something that you're going to be able to like, margins are low on restaurants. It's a fucking ton of work. You add alcohol and all that. There's a lot of theft and there's just a lot of overhead. And
what kind of margins are we talking?
Yeah, so in restaurants, you're typically looking at about 33% on food. And that's if you're doing everything perfect. You're gravitating more towards the like 29-30%. And then liquor, a bottle of vodka was $4 for me. So yeah. And then we're talking $4.25 a shot. It's 1,000% upsell on it. So
that's crazy.
After all of your costs, what are bottom line profits in the food industry? What do they come out to?
It really just depends on what your restaurant's doing. So local was doing right at $1 million when it sold it, and so you're looking at probably like a 25% profit at the end of it, 20 to 25%.
So that's not terrible.
It's not. It's
just a lot of work.
It's a fucking lot of work. Yeah. It's something that's and my heart was never. I never grew up and said, "Ooh, I want to be a restaurateur."
Yeah.
I want to run restaurants. This is not what I wanted to do. It's like I had that whole mentality of I would love to learn a new industry. Learn it, get what I wanted out of it, and move on to the next thing. And that's kind of been, other than Prepped and Ready. And so going back to, I know I just went on a tangent, but Prepped and Ready. So Prepped and Ready had to go on the back burner when I started getting these restaurants. I just literally could not do it. It was too young at the time to be able to have it as well. And I was also the only one doing it.
So you just get rid of your clients and say, I got to focus on something else?
I told them, like, hey, you guys can come to this restaurant if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah. And so, that all happened, and then, I got out of the restaurants, and, I'd always wanted to, the whole idea through the local was I was going to get Prepped and Ready in the local and doing it out of there. And it just like being open to 2 a.m., it really just like, it wasn't as feasible as it might seem because the kitchen was open so late. And so like, it just wasn't logistically, possible. I worked with a combine training facility and with offensive linemen. So I would feed them through Prepped and Ready, through the local some when they were training for the draft and everything. But and so Prepped and Ready's kind of had to be on a hiatus for the time being. And then once I got out of restaurants, I was like, shit, this is the perfect time to do it, especially when COVID hit. Perfect time to do it. And so
better
I was
time.
like, let's crank it out. Let's do this. So, yeah.
So what do you guys do?
Yeah, so Prepped and Ready is macro-friendly, nutritional meals delivered to your door, really. Everything is, based off, a healthy, balanced meal. We do custom meals, really whatever you want kind of thing. We have a set menu. I'm very flexible as far as, if you want to do this or that, or, whatever. But it's kind of a locally owned, HelloFresh kind of style thing. So.
And another shameless plug, my team has been using Prepped and Ready for since the pandemic, over a year and a half. And they graciously helped out with the October Hustle event, cooked all our meals, catered the event.
Shout out
Very
those tacos.
good food. Shout out those tacos. Shout out Pearson and his whole team. Highly recommend. They deliver it to our office a couple days a week, and it's always ready to go.
You guys were all doing that damn carnivore diet.
Yeah. We go hard. The what has been one of the largest challenges in owning a meal prep company?
One of the hardest challenges, honestly, is, kind of wearing all the hats. That's, probably been the biggest challenge of everything else. Other than that,
in the company or all the other things that you do?
In the company and all the other things I do.
Yeah.
Time's probably been my biggest thing is not having, seemingly not having enough of it, needing, 26 hours in a day. But, that's really been it. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm super passionate about it. And so they're really I don't sit there and you said that, I think about it and I'm like, what aspect do I hate about this business? I was like, really isn't one. Yeah. To me, it's the best of the restaurant industry without the stress of the restaurant industry. Cause you have, you don't have really any employees that are, on the clock. You don't have to look at a camera. You don't have to worry about, this, that, or the other.
Rent. Overhead.
The rent is nothing compared to what I was, having to pay for these restaurants and stuff. And then, so it's, it's all the fun aspects of the restaurant industry, the creation, the content, the customer interactions. That's one of my favorite things is interacting with customers. I love talking to people. I love talking to customers and, talking about, ideas and getting feedback and all that kind of stuff. And you get all that fun part, but not having to A, the hours, and then B, the unknowns kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
What makes you different from a Freshly or one of those kinds of companies?
What makes me different is the personal, the local business part.
Do you source local produce?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering
we get everything from Restaurant Depot for the most part.
Okay.
But what you get from me is you get a personal touch. So, you DM one of these, let's say Factor 75, you DM them and you get, a robot that replies back.
Yeah.
You get me. I'm texting people, I text people, that kind of thing. You get that personal touch where you can just shoot me a text hey, can I do this next week? Sure. Why not? By all means. And so you get that locally owned business, you get to support local, but you also get that humanistic aspect to it. And
it's a Chick-fil-A recipe. Customer service, good customer service beats everything.
It does, man.
It's not, we say this all the time. You are selling your vision and your energy and your story.
Exactly.
And the fact that you're local and you get a direct access or a direct line to the owner of the business.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to care more about their meals or keeping you full than Pearson Kilgore.
Yeah, and then that's been my philosophy throughout everything, all these restaurants. My idea, every time a customer came in, I did everything I could to remember their name. Because there's literally no feeling better than walking into a business and be like, hey, Clint, what's up, man? How you doing? It's take my money now. I'm going to come back every single time because they know my name. Yep. They know my order. Yep. They know what drink. That whole that it's kind of cheesy, but that Cheers vibe where you know the people, you literally if you give them that humanistic aspect, they'll never look at another company again.
Everybody wants a plug. Everybody wants to connect.
Everyone wants to feel special.
That's my guy for this thing.
Exactly.
Right?
And that goes back to that whole social media thing.
Yeah.
People want to post. They want to say, hey, I know the owner. Hey, look, I got this special. He gave me this. He gave me that. Look at me. It's a part of the toxic aspect of social media, but it's lucrative. Because it gets you that cult following that oh wow, look at him, he's look what he's doing, look what he did for me kind of thing. And so that it all circles back to that is, making people feel special, which I I think they are special because they're supporting me. So, but making sure they realize, hey, like, I appreciate you. I'm taking, like, I'm not just saying, hey, give me your money. Like, I'm taking the time to learn something about it, even if it's just your name or just like what you like, you know, remembering the conversation I had last week with you and then continuing it the following week. Yeah. Because then, you know, you, at that point, you know, that's a friend. That's not really just a customer. It's a friend.
So. I heard like people who are, you know, owners of restaurants, if you ever want to invest in owning a restaurant when you're older, it shouldn't necessarily be a profit center for you. Kind of like your T-shirts or our T-shirts. Our T-shirts aren't the main revenue driver, but it's a cool way for us to connect with our community. Yeah, so having a restaurant won't be the profit center of your life, but it'll be a unique way to connect with your community. Kind of like why we do the Hustle Up events.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's like in Kennesaw, like I'm, you know, I think part of it too with me, like I was guaranteed probably the youngest business owner at the time in Kennesaw, like in the city of Kennesaw. But it also came with like, does that shock factor? First off, they're like, you're the owner. And like whenever I would touch tables, like I would make sure to touch every single table during dinner rush, every single day, touching every one of them. And it was always like a shell shock, but it's like they remember. And then doing stuff in the community. So community outreach is so big. Like you said, becoming that
guy.
Person.
Yeah.
It's like, because, you know, going back, so my kitchen, my facility that I cook all the meals at is in downtown Kennesaw now, and it felt so good to be back in downtown Kennesaw because I'm very well known now, and I've kind of made a name for myself. So I have these people who are like, oh, you're in Kennesaw? I'm gonna order from you. Yeah. But it's crazy, like, but you don't realize what the foundation you're landing or you're you know building at the time. You're just doing it because you know this is something that could, you know, that's going to be good for you.
You're paying your dues to the grind. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And so, you know, seeing that come back is such a great feeling. So you're like, shit, like that's for real. Like, and then it just reinforces in your mind how important it is to have humanistic relationships with people and, you know, be a staple in that community. Do whatever you can. It's like the local. I would sponsor literally anybody's football team, baseball. I don't care. It is what it is. Like it never brought me money back.
Hear that, guys?
What?
If you have a baseball team, hit up Pearson.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I did. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't care because I knew they would come in and eat. But it also just is a logo out there. You see a logo, you keep seeing it.
It takes time, and that's the thing.
Oh, like, yeah, for sure.
Like, eventually it'll click. Like, someone will subconsciously recognize it, and then one day it'll just look like they can trust it. It's about building that trust.
No, it's building that brand. That's exactly what it is.
How far out do you deliver?
We do a 20-mile radius.
From Kennesaw?
Of our kitchen, yeah.
How do you scale that?
What do you mean?
Is there a plan to scale Prepped and Ready?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how do you scale that from beyond 20 miles away from Kennesaw?
Multiple locations.
How?
Multiple kitchens.
So you're going to hire, like give me the play-by-play. Like,
yeah, so okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it starts with employees. You get, you know, a handful of employees that you can trust, that you can build with, and then you promote from within. And then you start scouting out for a new location. The best person on that staff, they're going to get a great reward. They're going to be able to go and open that second location. Yeah. And, you know, that's where it starts. You know, that's the domino that starts it. Yeah. You know, getting that second location I think is very, very key into that growing kind of pain-ish thing. So
you kind of make it a competitive thing to where you bring on, let's say, a handful of people, and whoever performs the best and gains the most trust gets to be the leader of the next.
That's how I've always that's how it's been for me, and that's how I'm going to do for other people.
I feel like that's how what I've seen in restaurants or in companies as well. Yeah.
I could care less your education, your background, your skill. I don't give a shit.
Can you get results, and can I trust you?
Exactly. Yeah. Will you show up, you know, early? Will I have to tell you what to do, or will you take that incentive?
That's huge.
And that's it, man. That really is. I could care less if you've ever cooked before, because how could I'm a college dropout. So I have no experience I had no experience in restaurants, in solar, in, you know, meal delivery, in personal training. I just did it. So why would I expect someone else to have these qualifications when I didn't myself? So if I see something in someone that's like, hey, they see my vision, and I can tell that they're hungry, do it. Fuck it.
It's
because they're going to want to learn.
Yeah. Who's going to show up early? Who's going to stay late? And if they don't know what to do, they're going to say, what can I do next? Or take that initiative on their own. Yeah. Well, I can't just sit around.
Exactly.
So I decided to start creating, get busy, do whatever.
Exactly. That's what it is, man. That's, there's not this secret formula to it. There's not,
it's intrapreneurship. It's entrepreneurship within the company.
It is. And that's always been my plan. I've always managers promoted within. Everybody promote within, because it's so much easier to promote from within with your strongest link than try to hire someone out, because then you hire someone from out and then there's that awkward phase where like, who the fuck is this, or, you might have kickback from the current employees or whatever. So you hire within, you might have a little kickback, but the hope is they're going to see it and be like, oh shit, if I step up, man, I could be
look at the incentive.
Look at all the
exactly. And that's how it is, man. That's how I think that's how it should always be.
What are your different sales channels, like sales customer segments? Are you just straight direct to consumer online, or do you go to a Storm Roof Systems and sell to the company? Do you partner with personal trainers? Like, what are those?
Yeah, so speaks at Hustle Up events.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. You did do that, crushed it.
Yeah, appreciate it. So. Online sales, direct to customer is our number one right now. We work with, personal trainers, gyms, stuff like that. Get a fridge in there. Hey, give these out to your clients, % off. Let me come talk to them, whatever. Definitely, something I want to do in the future is doing, corporate discounts for like companies. So, for y'all, perfect example, y'all do, you guys all diet together. You guys bulk together. You guys do everything.
We call it nutrition plan.
Yeah. All right, whatever.
We do follow plans.
You're
together,
a tribe.
yeah.
Like you guys are a tribe. You have your business.
It's
y'all
a
have
culture. It's a family.
y'all have a tribal instinct that you guys ride and die, grind together. And so finding those companies that are like that and like, hey, you guys interested in doing this kind of thing? Like, hey, get everybody on board. Let's do a fucking challenge. Here's a sweet discount for everybody. Let's just get them on. Start getting meals, that kind of thing. So, yeah, our main driver is definitely online sales, direct to customer. But definitely working on growing into the personal trainers and all that kind of stuff. So hey, if you're a personal trainer, business or anything like that, apartment complex, whatever, and you're interested, hit us up at Prep Ready Meals.
There you go. What else do you focus on to grow that business? So we covered the aesthetics of social media. Yep. I don't feel like we covered the full gamut of marketing. Mm-hmm. We talked about sales.
You're out there in the field networking at events.
Yep.
Where do you represent? What business associations or groups are you involved with to plug your brand?
Besides Hustle Up.
Yeah, Hustle Up for sure. But Kennesaw businesses, all that kind of thing. Trying to volunteer at any kind of community service thing I can do, kind of thing like that.
And you go out there and just pass out food.
Yeah, do whatever I can, cards, food, whatever. I just completely went blank on what you just said.
No, you're good. How are you networking? What types of networking events are you in?
Yeah, so for the most part, those kind of things like community events. Kennesaw is the home. Kennesaw is my hub. That's my main driver. But yeah, any kind of thing that anything I can really whatever I can get into.
Chamber, KBA.
KBA, no chamber.
Okay.
No. You're talking about Cobb?
Yeah.
Yeah. No chamber right now. I need to get. Are you in chamber?
I am. Yeah.
Are you? Do you go to all the events or?
Not as much anymore, but because of the travel, it's.
Did you find it very beneficial?
I did. So I credit the chamber to a lot of my growth in terms of connecting with the community. When I was in the events business, it was a lot more beneficial. Yeah. Being in roofing, it still is. I want people to have that brand recognition, that front of mind placement. There's a lot of roofing companies and there's a lot of meal prep companies.
Yeah.
And so when you're dealing with a commoditized market, separating yourself through, like you said, service, access to the owner, personal touches, those things kind of highlight, or actually very much so highlight why you should do business with Clint or Pearson or Jonathan. Yeah. He's in a very niche market. So it's ultra niche.
Oh yeah, for real. When do you run Facebook ads? Do you run social media ads?
Mm-hmm. Here and
you
there.
Run those yourself?
Yeah. So everything's I figure out and learn everything myself about targeting demographics and all that kind of stuff. And I learned a lot of it through the restaurants about having to how to target demographics and all that fun stuff. And so I've just used the applied knowledge that I've had from that into this. But
is that beneficial for you running those ads?
I'll tell you, the most beneficial thing is what I told you guys earlier. Giving people incentives to post pictures. It's basically free, 15%.
They do the marketing for
you.
Yeah,
and that's what a lot of it is word of mouth, people sharing. Because like I said, people like to see other people's shit, and they want to, they want to post and say, "Look what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And so it makes other people want to do what you're doing, and it's it's free. Word of mouth's free. It's great. It can it's a double-edged sword. They say, someone has a good experience, they tell 2 people. They have a bad experience, they tell 10. So, it's making sure you're on top of your shit every time. But that's not hard when you're passionate about it. But that word of mouth has been the best thing. We've definitely gotten some from, targeted ads and all that kind of stuff. But targeted ads, it's a interesting thing because, like you said, it's so saturated. There's so many meal delivery companies. They're popping up left and right. Some are better than others, but there's so many, and they're, like on my Instagram, dude, I nonstop, that's all I see because I like other people's, pages and stuff.
Yeah,
and so
they've got your algorithm figured out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, dude. They're nonstop, but it also is good because it's inspiration. But so it's a tricky market with trying to target the right people at that and, actually get people because, like you said, it's super saturated. So that's why the word of mouth has been honestly my best driver though.
So I want to talk about solar.
Let's
I
do
know
it.
your parents have a solar company. Yeah. What is your involvement, if any, with that? And why? I know Georgia has some laws that don't necessarily make it as friendly as Texas or some of those sun states, California, Arizona. What is going on in the solar industry in Georgia right now? We just had a new law passed. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so my dad started Suncatcher Atlanta in 1983. Starting with the solar thermal, which solar hot water. So he went to FIU for thermal engineering, and got into pool heating and solar electric here in the last 20 years or so. So we're the only one in the Southeast that does all three, and we're also the oldest solar company in the Southeast.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. But anyways, solar electric. It's the last 10 years has been the real boom of solar electric because the cost and the efficiency have finally kind of met that happy medium to where it's obtainable for the average person. That with the federal tax credit. So there's a 26% federal tax credit on solar. Right now it's dropping to 22%. It started at 34% and it dropped every year. And then it was supposed to go to 22% this year. They renewed it because of COVID. So it's still 26%, but so there's a couple factors that make solar a little bit harder in Georgia that tax credit really saves. One being electricity really isn't very expensive in Georgia comparatively to like Texas or California for New York, where it's astronomical. So solar makes more sense as far as savings, but you get that federal tax credit, which helps. And then there's a lot of EMCs now that are kind of chipping in a little bit. Georgia Power, they're the biggest pain in the ass possible.
What is a VMC?
What's it, EMC?
Oh, EMC.
Yeah, sorry. EMC. So Georgia Power, they have a lot of EMC companies have net metering. And so net metering meaning when you're overproducing compared to what you're using. So for example, say your house is requiring 100 kWs and your system's producing 150. You get 50 extra kW, you're going to sell that back to the EMC company. So most companies like Marietta Power, Cobb EMC, they buy it back for 3 cents on the dollar, which is a slap in the face because it's like, why are
it's like a pawn shop.
Yeah, exactly. It's diminished returns at that point. So we try to sell batteries to those people so they store all the extra they're using. But Georgia Power, they actually buy it back dollar for dollar, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
But at the same time, Georgia Power is like, oh, look at us. But they extended it to 5,000 customers. So at the same time, it's like, oh, look at us being, green efficient. Because Georgia Power hates solar. They do.
Yeah.
All EMC companies hate solar.
Yeah, they all do.
Which it doesn't make sense because it's a failing grid. Every day it's failing more and more. You would think that they would like solar to take the stress off that grid, but they hate solar. And Georgia Power, they're not so much a power company, they're more of, lobbyists in Washington. And so they get 99% of what they want. So it's like, oh, look at us being, doing a good deed, doing net metering, the best one in the state. It was like, okay, 5,000 customers, that's a drop in the bucket. But so it does help customers. So when you're being able to sell back dollar for dollar, it makes your return on your investment a lot faster. So in Georgia, typically the return on investment on solar is about 8 years. Life of the system's 30, 35 years though. So
that's good. That's solid.
Is it actually 30 to 35 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they with basically every panel that goes out now has a 25-year full warranty on it, and they definitely last after that. So even at a bare minimum, you have 25 years under a warranty. You're going to make your money back twice. So.
And is this just something that your parents do, or do you have involvement as
yeah.
well?
Yeah. So I do. I handle all the PV. So I do all the, which is photovoltaic, which is the solar electric aspect. I do all the sales and all the operations on that. So.
How do you do that and cook and do marketing?
I don't sleep much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even still, like, do you have it like designated or allocated time that you have to stay disciplined to maintaining? So no more than 3 hours of sales and 5. Like, how many hours a day are you cooking?
So I don't. Well, that's another beauty behind the meal delivery is I cook once a week. I cook on Mondays. So
All
I cook.
day.
Yeah, I cook about. I get up about 4 a.m. on Monday and get in there. I'm in there about 4:30, 4:45, and I cook.
Where's it's a kitchen in Kennesaw?
Downtown Kennesaw, right behind Horned Owl Brewery, if you guys know where that is. It's literally like 500 yards from Taco.
This is a ghost kitchen, right?
Correct, yeah. It's just a facility for cooking and packaging. And so, I'll cook until probably about 2 o'clock. And then I have one guy that does deliveries for me. He does like the Dallas route and the South route, I call it, which is at like Atlanta, Smyrna, Marietta.
Okay.
And then I get done, clean up. I'll hit Kennesaw. I'll do a loop, which is mainly like Legacy Park people and all that kind of stuff.
On Monday, so you're cooking and delivering on Monday?
Cooking, package, deliver, brother.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good 15-hour day.
Where's your furthest customer? Do you have customers in Atlanta, in the city?
Oh, yeah. We have people, not like city, probably like Acres Mill, probably closest, which is kind of like touching the city. But really our farthest customers are out like in fucking Dallas, like Dallas.
Well, and you know how we did it. A bunch of us I live in the city, a bunch of us live in Dallas.
Have them bring it to the office.
They would bring it to the office.
Which is,
we have our Tuesday meeting.
Yeah, so. And we have some customers like that their husbands or their wives or whatever work like in the Kennesaw area, so we just deliver it to them and that kind of thing. So, which is another personal touch you get. You can shoot to, hey man, like I'm running a little bit late for this pickup today. Yeah, no problem. Like I'll hang out. It's all good. Hey, I'm not going to be home. Can you deliver it here? Yeah, sure, no problem. So that's having the flexibility kind of thing, which is just going back to reiterating what we were talking about earlier. But so going back to what you were saying, like how do I manage everything? Every morning I have a list. I have my A pluses, I have my A's, my B's, my C's. A plus, I gotta touch that first thing in the morning. I have the most energy. I
live and die by the motherfucking list.
Yeah, we literally just talked about this on the phone the other day.
I got a legal pad, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A legal pad.
I
iPad.
just bought one.
Dude, I
had to write it down. I can't
I'm
do it
a
on my phone.
legal pad fiend, bro. If
Padfolio.
If you go in my office at home.
What'd you say?
A Padfolio.
Oh, Padfolio.
All kinds of pads. Yeah.
If you go to my office at home, like in the closet, it's just a stack of just completely full legal pads. Like my girlfriend's like, why do you like? My girlfriend, my friends are like you're like the only person I know that uses a legal pad. I'm like, I fucking love it. It is what it is. I don't, something about them. I love the thing. But anyways, yeah. So I got my A pluses. A pluses I touch first thing in the morning, whether it's a lead that I'm gonna sell that morning, or whether it's hey, something this went wrong on Monday with operations. I need to make sure I fix this right now so it's good for next week. Yeah. That kind of thing. So you got your A pluses. Those are the first things I knock out, and then you have your your A's to your B's. We're kind of like, okay, I need to spend 30 minutes looking up new recipes. I need to spend 30 minutes learning about, solar sales. I need to use 30 minutes learning about marketing, how to master a new Photoshop skill. That kind of thing. So then, that's kind of how I allocate my day throughout. And it seems to work for me for the most part. And then, there's things, you got your C's and D's that, if you don't get to it, it's not the end of the world. Try to get to it, but that becomes your A plus tomorrow.
Where does taking your girlfriend out for a date fall?
Fridays.
But that's like an A plus thing. On
Friday
night,
for sure. Yeah. So
unavoidable.
Yeah. No, that's a non-negotiable for the most part.
Yeah.
So we have a clear understanding. She works a ton. She works all day. We both work a ton.
She's with the business.
Yeah.
She knows what time it is.
Yeah. So Kaylin, we started dating in 2018, the beginning of 2018. And so I was balls deep in the local, 7 days a week.
You were married to the game.
12 hours. So the fact that she stayed with me through all that shit, and once I got out of it, it's like a breeze now. But so she understands, and we have a clear understanding, hey, every 2 weeks or once a month where we make this time. This is
intentionality.
Yeah. So this Friday we're going to Putt Shack. And
Hey, we went 2
Sick.
weekends ago.
Sick.
I'm so
Absolutely recommend.
Yeah.
I fucking love putt
It's
putt,
killer.
bro.
Dude, this is have
a
you
vibe.
been? Have you
No,
been?
it was the first time, dude.
Putt
I
Shack
bought
is-
I bought 2 games apiece.
You should. Good. That's perfect.
Because they said it's like 30 minutes. I was
Dude,
like, nah.
I
were
wish
sitting
I would have got
outside.
all 4.
Really?
Yeah, 100.
We were sitting outside and we were looking at it and we said, you know, what's the chances that the owners of this own Topgolf? And it was, no, can't be, maybe.
Is it?
Yeah, I Googled.
No
I
kidding.
Googled
Yeah.
it on the spot. I said, it's got to be. This is too similar. It's eerie.
Really?
First thing that pops up.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Topgolf founders raised $60 million for Putt Shack
It's another golf concept.
Yeah, yeah,
Concept,
bar,
that's-
cool
yeah,
it
night
looks
out,
cool,
but
yeah.
it
It's-
is a
It's cool.
spot for a date night.
And if you think
Hell
about
yeah.
the energy of like whacking a ball, like that's what Topgolf is. It's popping. People are drinking.
Yeah, dude,
like,
you have that music going.
Yeah,
You have a
exactly.
DJ in there. It's, yeah.
Putt Shack, the lights are dimmed. It's like
I've
the
seen
energy
like on
of
Instagram
putting.
and stuff. It looks really cool.
Bro.
Yeah.
Food's good.
Food's
the
great.
service
Really?
is good.
Food's
Hell yeah.
great.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So
Not
yeah.
to divert, but shout out Putt Shack.
Yeah, right. Yeah, super excited. But yeah, you know, being intentional about it and kind of doing that and kind of balancing that.
I think it's crucial.
It is. It
You
really
got to
is.
show the people in your life that you care about them. And
Yeah, 'cause you guys are both in
especially-
relationships, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So y'all get it.
Yeah.
And our girlfriends are fast friends. All of our girlfriends are fast friends.
Good.
so
Good. Good.
It helps.
Yeah.
What are your top menu items?
So top menu items. I brought them with me tonight.
Oh,
Can we see 'em?
Get to do a taste test. I think they're being warmed up
He's,
right now.
he's going to warm them up.
Okay.
What? So we'll wait. So other than the ones you brought, are those the ones you brought? Your 3 bestsellers?
Well, I brought 2 of the bestseller
Okay.
and then 1 of the second bestseller.
Okay.
So the chicken fajita bowl,
Amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, and then the buffalo chicken is definitely the
Let's go.
second best. Yeah,
I'm excited. We'll
And
definitely
then-
clip out a little taste test of that.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, those 2 are probably definitely the top 2. The margarita shrimp are really good too. Which I honestly, I pat myself on the back for that one because
Yeah.
the fact that reheating shrimp is that popular, I was like, because I was like, I don't know, man, I don't know how doing shrimp and reheating it if it's gonna be really rubbery, but
If it works, it works.
it fucking worked, man. I was super
Yeah.
excited
Does your
about it.
packaging come with directions?
Yeah, man.
And
You'll see
the
it. Yeah.
nutrition.
Yeah,
you
I
have
got-
the packaging.
Hell yeah,
Awesome.
man. Just like your customers.
Yeah, that'll be part of the taste test. We'll break the whole thing down.
Yeah.
More like an experience test.
Yeah,
not a
so-
taste test. So how often do you add new products? Like, what is a new season?
So with Prepped and Ready, it's a little bit different, man. I wanted to make it just a huge menu. I do. So we started. We were doing seasonally, and like I liked it, but I was kind of like, I don't really like this. I want to have like a staple because we never really had staple menus when it came back into 2020. And so this last year, I kind of did kind of like a rebranding, so to speak. I kind of like started incorporating more colors and stuff like that. Because like a lot of the like back in 2020, a lot of it was like monochromatic, like blacks,
Monochromatic,
whites,
yeah.
grays. And I was like, I like this, but I was like, it's just not as appetizing. So I started incorporating a lot of color, and it was like, I was super nervous about it because I was like, I don't know how people are gonna like it. And it's gotten like crazy great feedback. But through that, I made there's like 12 staples on the menu, like 12 items that, always gonna be there. And then, so started adding 2 or 3 items a month now. And so the goal is to have like 35 items by the end of the year. To where it's a really robust, just huge menu that people be able to, to really be able to get variety out of and stuff. So
That's awesome.
including custom meals too. So you can build your own meal. You just
That's what
select your
we've done.
appropriate.
Based off an input of like, I can't just be like, I want
No, I did.
butter chicken with rice.
Yeah.
Like I could.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Or I want a whole carnivore diet that's
Yeah.
Okay.
all
yeah, true.
steak and liver, right?
Yeah.
Can you do you if I give you like no direction, like I want a keto diet?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, so I've done it with a couple NFL players like Darren Waller. So I make meals for Darren. So I got hooked up with this guy that trains in Kennesaw too as well. He trains a lot of athletes like Justin Fields and stuff like that. And so most of the time in those kind of situations, these guys are like, I first thing I ask them, like, you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to put on weight right now for the season? Most of the time they're just like maintaining. I'm like, cool. I was like, let me just make you some meals because most of the time, like these guys, they don't want to go on and pick and do it. I was like, just let me make you my favorite meals and see what you like. And so that's that kind of thing. I'll just kind of freestyle with them, or like we did with like Clinton them, like just kind of freestyle and seeing like, hey, we're on this carnivore diet, like hook it up.
What'd you make for the carnivore diet?
We did like what?
Heart, liver,
Yeah.
steak, chicken, all kinds of different chicken within that realm. Like it's I mean, they got creative with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And does it's just carnivore, right? So there's no like grain or any kind of anything like that. It's just
straight meat.
That was just meat.
That's wild. And what did that do for you?
Besides destroy y'all's toilet.
Yeah, destroy the toilet. I mean, you cut up on it like pretty rapidly, pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can.
Now, I could not stick to carnivore because I would get sick of or tired of the food. I had to incorporate some veggies. So
I couldn't do it, man.
This
is not my cup of tea.
I love steak and I love chicken and I've got no problem with eating meat, but it gave me an appreciation for vegetables.
So let me ask you this.
Cool.
Let me ask you this. When you first started, did you feel like mentally clearer?
I can't say that I did.
Okay.
It had no noticeable effects.
Well, because like some people go to like keto or like carnivore and they're like I function so much better. Like I have so much energy.
I know a lot of people that think like that.
I'm not that
well,
way.
the less full your stomach is, the more you have brain function.
I've done very well on intermittent fasting like that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gee, let's bring those
Let's do it, man.
All right, so we've got prepped and ready. Pearson has brought us some of the top menu items.
Check the name.
We got prepped and ready, specifically made for the Hustle Up
If
podcast.
you're listening, this would be a great time to tune in to the YouTube. We are 50 minutes, 36 seconds in.
Hustle Up clips. You could just find the clip too. Either
Boom.
way. So go ahead. Tell us what you brought.
Yeah. So here, let's grab it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing up right now is the chicken fajita bowl.
Oh, wow. Can we get that packaging on a camera? G, will you hand that to G so you could zoom in? So this is what the packaging looks like. So here we have the buffalo chicken I'm reading. You've got the calories on there. So calories 417, protein 44. And this is one sitting, like, right?
Correct,
This is,
yeah.
Has all your macro
protein, 40
information.
Carbs,
Yep.
yeah. Heating instructions, that's important for someone like me.
Super easy. 2 minutes in the microwave, cover on.
It looks like you've got them in MyFitnessPal, which that's particularly interesting to me because when I've tried to specifically count macros or diet in the past, I find that to be such a hassle.
Yeah.
So if I can buy these meals and they're already in there, and I could be like the prepped and ready buffalo chicken.
Yeah, so you got salsa in there. It's Mateo salsa, the best salsa ever made. Got cheese in there to throw on.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Yeah, so it's got black beans, steamed rice, fajita veggies,
Love it.
chicken, cheese,
hungry too.
salsa.
Yeah. So this is good. So looks like
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let me go show the. He's opening one. Did you open the
That's
other
the-
camera? Did
that's
you
the
That's
open
the
one?
buffalo. He's got the buffalo chicken. I
Did you
think.
show the? Yeah. Show them that one. So what you're about to see is the fajita chicken.
Yep.
All right, Clint. Talk to me about what's on
Let's
your
hear it.
palate.
I want to hear.
It's a burst of flavor.
Yeah.
So the salsa might be the best salsa ever
I'm
made.
telling
Is
you,
that
bro.
a homemade salsa?
Where
No,
is this?
I'm
What
telling
is
you,
this?
it's not a homemade. It's Mateo's.
Mateo's?
It's the best salsa ever. I couldn't make a better salsa, so I'm not going to make one.
Where can you pick up Mateo's salsa?
Costco.
Perfect.
Let me
Yeah.
taste
Costco, Walmart. I mean, they all have it.
Was
but
it? That was the.
I'm telling you,
first-
Actually, I'll
it's
just take some of Clint's.
like the best salsa. So that's the thing. Like I never. That's something too with Prepped and Ready is I try to be as transparent as possible. Like I'm not gonna say like when you ask me like, hey, do you get locally sourced vegetables? No, I don't. But the shit I get, I know it's gonna be good. I'm not gonna make I could make something homemade, but that stuff's really good. I might as well give them notoriety too.
Yeah, no,
And
this
what's
is good.
What's the sauce on here?
Buffalo.
So. Oh yeah.
This is tasty, guys.
Yeah. So in this one this is the fajita bowl. Looks
Yeah.
like we got grilled vegetables, black beans and rice, Mateo salsa. What kind of cheese is this? Colby Jack?
Yeah, Colby Jack.
How do you decide what goes well together? Is it all just freestyling, mix and match?
A lot of this is shit I like, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think this is really good together. Let me see if other people think it's really good together. So, I mean, a lot of stuff is, it's staple stuff, green beans, buffalo sauce, rice, chicken. Like
Rice.
it's, it goes together. But, like, for example, I'm not a huge fan of corn. I didn't put corn in my fajita bowl. I put black beans instead. So,
I think that's a good call. That's what I'm used to.
yeah. So, it's just a lot of it is things I like. And then I'll see things on Instagram or, social media and stuff and be like, oh, that looks really good. Let me see, how can I make this healthy? What can I do? I spend, so like, for example, we just had, last week I launched a stuffed pepper bowl. And so it's kind of like an unstuffed pepper with rice, marinara sauce, ground seasoned turkey, cheddar or mild cheddar cheese and peppers in it. It's dynamite.
This is killer.
Yeah, this is really good. This was cooked on Monday.
Yeah.
All right, so that's crazy. You know, we're like 3 days later. It tastes fresh.
Yep.
I missed that earlier.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm not just saying that like this actually tastes like you could have just made it before you came.
And that's the thing, like, and that's the thing that a lot of people miss with the meal prep thing is they cook it. It's a different mindset with cooking for meal prep because you're not cooking for someone to eat it 30 minutes later. You're cooking it for someone to eat it 5 days later. And so it's how do I preserve the proteins? How do I preserve the consistency of the chicken and the vegetables and everything to where when they heat it up, you know, in a week, it's going to taste like it just was made. So in that, you know, playing with the temperatures you cook your meat to and stuff like that to where, you know, with the intent, okay, they're going to finish cooking this when they warm it up to where boom, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect when it's finished.
What do you use on the seasoning for this chicken? Because that's pretty bland with just the buffalo sauce on it. Because that would be over flavor. I feel like if it's too much. Yeah. What's on this fajita chicken? This is really good.
Yeah, it's a blend I get from the warehouse. It's called a buttery steakhouse blend. It's called I'm trying to think of the name. I'll send it to you though. It's the best seasoning ever, man. And so we do it on that, and then it has like a buttery kind of like flavor to it without having the butter and stuff like that. Because you got to keep in mind too when you're cooking for this is, you know, keeping the fats low and stuff like that because it's more of like a balanced the meal. So low fat, you know, moderate to high carb, and, you know, moderate to high protein. So
yeah,
I love it.
I will save our audio listeners me smacking
on
this microphone any longer.
Hey, and in case you're asking, it was that good.
It really was.
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate that.
I think the packaging is simple and informative enough for someone like me. Like that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you are already incorporated on MyFitnessPal is great. The food tasted fresh. You know, we just warmed it up and it tasted like it was delivered fresh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfectly seasoning. Man, I mean, you know, I've had the tacos before, and you guys. You kill it.
They stay killing it.
Yeah, this is consistent. Well, man, I appreciate you so much bringing this in and dropping some of the knowledge you have on the restaurant industry and Prepped and Ready. And I'm excited to see how you scale this. I think, you know, I've got a couple good ideas of different sales channels.
Let's do it, man.
You know, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of conversation. I'm an advocate. I'll probably sign up. This is awesome. Where can people, you know, you're at Prepped and Ready Meals. You already mentioned that. Who can reach out to you? Do you have content on YouTube? Like where are you?
So all our socials are at Prepped Ready Meals. The website is www.preppreadymeals.com. So it's Prep Ready Meals across the board. As far as YouTube and all that, coming very soon, actually, probably this week, we're going to be launching something kind of special that's kind of close to my heart with the whole social media kind of thing. You heard me mention a couple of times it being, you know, toxic and stuff like that. So, kind of decided to kind of share my own story as far as my fitness industry or, you know, my fitness journey and everything, and led to the creation of Prepped and Ready. And so we're launching the YouTube channel this week. Already have the first video done, so we're going to launch that. It's going to be the actual YouTube channel is called Better Than Yesterday.
Awesome.
Yes.
And I think you have some T-shirts that say that too. Do you? You have them over here.
Some gym swag.
Yeah. So and so that's kind of the kind of the motto that Prepped and Ready has kind of become. For me, it was be better than yesterday, but I dropped it down to just better than yesterday. So that's kind of the whole motto with this.
High quality material.
Thank you for the shirts, man, and the food. If you ever need a market research group for taste testing, we're right here.
Hell yeah.
Our whole team would be happy to join. But Pearson, this was awesome, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, man.
This was killer.
Yeah, much respect to everything you do. Any way we can help, whether you want to come speak at events, we're here for it.
Anywhere, anytime.
Let's do it. And serious about that taste
Caterer
testing
for
thing.
life.
Yeah, right.
Awesome, man. Well, you guys know where to find us at HSTLUP, www.hstlup.com. We got the content, we got the vibes, we got the food. Until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Clint.
Hustle up.